Pledger.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I know pain.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Good Monday evening and welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You can follow me on X, on Instagram, and everything at I Am Pledger. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. You can also give us a call. What do you think about this year's Super Bowl matchup? 210-656-3776. That's 210-656-ESPN. Or you can just comment along on our YouTube page, like Goldfinger123 and Fred Records are already doing. Goldfinger wondering if I'm Vegas bound. I am not. Somebody's got to make sure the ship runs safely back here. So I will be hanging back while the guys go to Vegas for the week. Starting next Monday, your radio coverage is brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. What a weekend. What a great football weekend. And it sucks that it's getting close to being over, but my goodness. Couple of things I'm really happy about. Got to see a bunch of my friends celebrate going to another Super Bowl as I was in Houston this weekend. And my best friend and a couple of my other friends down there, Chiefs fan, went to a Chiefs bar and watched the game with them. Electric Avenue. I mean, just I love the passion within that watch party there. It is a fun thing. Chiefs are good. And a lot of people have come into this saying, I've been listening to all, well, Lamar, he doesn't have it. He choked in the big game. Baltimore fumbled the ball. Look, guys, come on. I've been telling you all year how legitimate Kansas City's defense was. Let's not disrespect and slander Kansas City's defense by trying to rip apart Lamar Jackson and the Ravens the same way we do Brock Purdy, because he's not otherworldly like Patrick Mahomes, but he just runs the offense as efficient as it can be run and then makes plays off script on top of it. Both of those are disrespectful to both of those things. And the Chiefs' defense is real. Lamar had one bad throw into triple coverage that got picked. Other than that, Kansas City just was all over everyone. They managed to stop the run. They gave no windows to throw. And L'Jarius Sneed is the snub of the year right now as an all-pro. Look, DaRon Bland, you can have your 6 or 7 pick sixes this year or whatever you had. It's a lot in the same vein of Trayvon Diggs in his rookie year when he had the 11 picks. And I said, man, he wasn't very good. You can turn the football over. But if you're giving up 1,200 yards and a bunch of touchdowns, it's not really that great of a season, is it? You're opportunistic. You clean up some of the other stuff, though, and I'll take half of the production if you give up like half the yards and half the touchdowns. L'Jarius Sneed didn't allow a touchdown until last week's game against Buffalo in the playoffs. L'Jarius Sneed has been the best cornerback in football this season. And that's not an understatement. We always look to, and this goes for Dak Prescott, this goes for the Dallas Cowboys, this goes for legitimately any team that we cover as media. We get into a place of, well, if you didn't win, it's somebody's fault. In that Kansas City game, two defenses played extremely well. Kansas City controlled the ball, controlled the clock, dominated time of possession. They were the better football team that day. L'Jarius Sneed makes a play on Zay Flowers that doesn't get made by a lot of people. But they punch the ball out as he's trying to stretch for the end zone, and it becomes a touchback because it is recovered by the defense in the end zone. Clear recovery. Because I know that's been a point of topic and conversation here. I look at what Baltimore did or couldn't do, didn't do, however you want to parse it. The one thing I will say about Baltimore that it's not Lamar Jackson as much as it is the team lost its composure. Saw what Patrick Queen did, the 15-yard penalty right there. You saw the taunting penalty after the big catch that got them into the red zone, that gave them a chance to try and do something after a huge Lamar Jackson play by Zay Flowers. Those are the issues of they can really could and did cost Baltimore the game. So I look a lot at that and then play calling. They were having some success on the ground, especially with Lamar Jackson. Todd Monken seemed to go away from it with his play calling. Or maybe Lamar went away from it. But I would think it would have been addressed if it had been happening over and over and over and over again, and Lamar was consistently changing the plays. Lamar Jackson post game was asked about losing to the Chiefs and not being able to punch that ticket into the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, I'm not frustrated at all. I'm angry about losing. We're a game away from the Super Bowl. We've been waiting all this time, all these moments for an opportunity like this, and we fell short. Bill, this all season gonna get right, get better, grind, and try to be in this position again, but on the other side of victory.
It's the right things you want to say in that position. And a lot's been made about Lamar Jackson and his performance this year, MVP worthy, all that stuff. Zay Flowers was an upgraded weapon. Mark Andrews is still a weapon. Isaiah Likely is a pretty good weapon. Is Odell still the weapon he was? Is Nelson Aguilar really that big of a weapon? Now, I know Lamar has more weapons than he's ever had. But, Gus Edwards signing Dalvin Cook the week before the end of the regular season. Justice Hill. They really do need a running back. Dobbins can't seem to stay healthy. That team needs a couple of backs, probably. But football's about opportunities. Patrick Mahomes, like Tom Brady before him, seems to be really, really at capitalizing on the opportunities that arise in big opportunity and big game situations. And once again, 6 straight years in a championship game, now a 4th Super Bowl appearance. He's going to try and win his 3rd back-to-back, first back-to-back since the Patriots in the early 2000s. Tony Galan on our YouTube live feed says Texans Packers in next year's Super Bowl. You heard it here first. Hey, I hope you're right, Tony. That would be awesome. Jack Vincent says Lamar Jackson is Dak Prescott in a Ravens uniform. End of story. Look, I don't see that on either account. He is the MVP of the season. He was not without a bad game this year. And that Chiefs defense is insanely good this year. Give some respect and some props to that Chiefs defense. Having Nick Bolton available to him that game. Drew Tranquil has been an amazing addition by them. And they did just enough to really make sure that it felt like Baltimore, while they were in striking distance the entire game, that game was never felt like it was getting close to swinging the momentum. The Chiefs dominating the time of possession in that game was it was a clinic on run to pass, throw to pass, and what perfect kind of bookends to this season for Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who has the big drop against Philly, has the no pass interference call a few weeks later against Green Bay, multiple drops throughout the season, including those big ones and big moments. And he comes up with the catch that ends the game so that they can run out the clock. It's a nice little symmetry to Marquez Valdez-Scantling's season for them. The Chiefs, well, they're in. So are the San Francisco 49ers, and we've seen this matchup before. But not this matchup. And could it be different because of this one key difference? We'll discuss next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM and SA Sports.
Playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Meet Cheryl. Hey, she's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
O'Reilly! Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the right Super Start battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. And look, I love a great conspiracy theory as good as the next. I don't believe any of them, but I like them. They're fun. Some get out of hand. One that has gotten out of hand has been conspiracy theory in which the colors indicate which teams are playing in the Super Bowl. And everybody was so like, oh, it's preordained. It's San Francisco and Baltimore. Well, it's not. And we can put that conspiracy theory to bed where it belongs after 2 years of sheer luck. So, perfect. Right where it belongs. Although there is red in it, and there's two teams that wear red in the Super Bowl. So, not saying, just saying. Kidding. Oh, man. Yeah, but that conspiracy theory towards the end of the year was really, really getting on my head with the amount of energy it was given by so many people. Oh, man. The San Francisco 49ers, well, they will be meeting the Chiefs in a game that we saw not too long ago. Two very, very big differences in this game. Otherwise, the teams look eerily similar. One, no Tyreek Hill. So, not sure if they're going to run Wasp. But also for the San Francisco 49ers, and probably the biggest difference in this game, no Jimmy Garoppolo, which means Brock Purdy takes over. Look, Brock Purdy's had a phenomenal start to his career. In the same vein that Patrick Mahomes has had a phenomenal start to his career. He is a really, really damn good quarterback in this league. And it did not start out well early for him. As a matter of fact, you go down 17 early. It was 24-7 at the half. I mean, things looked not promising as the San Francisco 49ers inched closer and closer out of halftime. But the team always believed.
The love, the brotherhood, it's real. It's the NFL. I guess you could say it's a business, but guys care about each other in this locker room and what we've been through. And we got a core group of guys that have been here for the last couple of years and the standard and culture that they've built. And then the guys that Kyle and John brings in, like everyone fits that mold. And, you know, it showed tonight in a huge moment. Like if you're down 17, you got to care about each other and you got to love each other to get a comeback and going. And so I think we showed that tonight.
And that's huge for them because in terms of narratives surrounding teams, seasons, whatever you want to do, the comeback is usually against Kyle Shanahan. He has been the butt of that meme since 28-3 in the Super Bowl. The other narrative, if you get up early on a team like San Francisco or a Shanahan-style team that heavily does rely on the run game and run action, it pigeonholes them into being one-dimensional and therefore become a much more difficult task to lead themselves back from big deficits. Brock Purdy put that to bed with a performance in that second half as they put up 34 in the final score. Brandon Ayuk, and that's the fun thing too, is everybody's talking about the catch, how amazing it was, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. There was still a flag thrown. Like the ball was going to be spot fouled regardless of the catch. Like, I understand the potential momentum in something like that, but the real momentum came from gambling man Dan Campbell. I know it's what he's been for the majority of the season. But those fourth downs where you're taking points off the board, they're killers. They're killers. And I know Josh Reynolds is taking a lot of crap today for the miss and the drop, but at the same time, say he picks that first down. You still have to capitalize on that. Even if he would have. It's a lot like, the Des Cottick game, acting like Aaron Rodgers didn't have over 3.5 minutes and 2 timeouts to march right down the field on a Dallas defense that he owned. I like aggressive teams. Situational aggressiveness, I think, is very, very interesting. And I love teams that are ultra aggressive the way a Dan Campbell is. But then there's aggressiveness, and then there's aggressiveness to a fault. I think Dan Campbell is a victim of aggressiveness to a fault, much like he did it against the Dallas Cowboys, where he's like, I'm going for two. I'm not going to tie this game. Okay, cool. I got it. You had it in your mind. You suffered a penalty. You got pushed back. Scrap it and kick the field goal at that point. As a matter of fact, you get to come back, but it's only half the distance to the goal. So you're not even really making up all of the things that you needed for the best opportunity from 2 yards out, like you would normally have. So at that point, kick the extra point, yada, yada, yada. Guy's chance at first place still after that. But Dan Campbell's ego, passion, something overruled his part. And I look at Bill O'Brien, who was a notoriously very conservative head coach in terms of going for it and stuff like that. The year they lost that 24-0 lead to the Chiefs in Arrowhead, they up 21-0, driving, Deshaun's cooking. They have a 4th and 1 inside the 20. He kicks a field goal, doesn't go for it. Momentum starts slipping, and then he just goes for a weird 4th and 9 in his own end inside their own 20, fake punt. It, just out of character, out of the momentum was, you could tell he was trying to catch or seize or regain control of the momentum that team had lost. And I feel like some of those second half calls were him trying to regain the momentum that he had lost going into half. But Dan Campbell says he wouldn't change a thing.
I just felt really good about us converting and getting our momentum and not letting them play long ball. You know, they were bleeding the clock out. That's what they do. And I wanted to get the upper hand back. And it's easy hindsight, and I get it. You know, I get that. But I don't regret those decisions. And that's hard because, you know, we didn't come through. It wasn't able to work out. But I don't. And I understand the scrutiny I'll get. That's part of the gig, man. But it just didn't work out.
That is Dan Campbell. Kyle Shanahan also speaking on Campbell's aggressive nature during that game.
That's how they've done it most of the year, and I think that's one of the reasons why they were here. So, like, you win a lot of games making some of those decisions, and then you make some decisions and you lose them. I mean, I don't think it always comes down to that. There's lots of plays that happen in the game, but, I mean, that's the decision that we all have to make, and it doesn't surprise me because he's made a lot of those decisions throughout the year that have won them a lot of games also.
I understand they won a lot of games. And Arnold P. says you can't rely on onside kicks to get to the chip. Very frustrating. You take 6 points off the board in a 3-point game, and I realize the run makes you burn a timeout. There's so many instances from this game where you look at it and be like, what was going on? But the thing I look at the most are the points that come off the board. And if the points that come off the board and how they directly affect the end of game, and you're talking about by going for it, you took a chance at 6 points off the board in a game that you lost by 3. It's going to be very interesting, but Brock Purdy's that dude. And he came back in the second half, and he used his legs because he's a playmaker. Crazy thing is, Lamar Jackson did not use his legs as much as I thought he probably would have in that game. The matchup's going to be fantastic. We're going to cover it from every angle, front to back, back to front. But when we come back, I want to talk about what's going on up the road, up in Dallas, as the Cowboys. Will they be losing Dan Campbell? Could he have a job already in line? He's got an interview tomorrow, a second interview with the Commanders. He's already done 2 interviews with the Seahawks. People are already penciling his name into certain jobs. But ESPN NFL Insider says maybe not so fast. But if he does go, who would replace him? All that coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz.
But, a lot of Cowboy fans like to blame Jerry Jones for the problems because he is the GM. Is he a football guy? Does he know a lot of football?
Oh, yeah. No, he played football. He played on a winning team. He's been the general manager the whole time. And look at how much success they've had. And we're mad at him for losing 12 games every year, but, because they lost the playoff game. No, he's into football.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and a little thing I like about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is I think it's just a perfect combination of ingredients. The pepper jack cheese and that spiciness of the sandwich. It's the right type of spice and the right amount of spice. It's crunchy on the outside, but then really tender on the inside. And then obviously the pickles on the bottom are iconic. There are too many things I like about it. I don't know if I can finish the thought.
Bring on the spice and order the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guest paid for their testimonial.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped.
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate it by riding along this evening. It is really hard to make the Super Bowl. That's why very few teams get there frequently. And I don't think it's a Paradis thing. I think there are a multitude of factors that go into it, luck being one of them, health, and then just being ready for the moment. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan. These teams are always seem to be ready for the moment most of the time in recent years. And even then, like the 49ers went to 4 straight NFC title games at one point. Chiefs have been to 6. And the 49ers still really don't have anything to show for it in the long grand scheme of things. I say that to say this. The Dallas Cowboys have the intent and purpose of running it back. But there could be one big change to them running it back, and that change being at defensive coordinator. And a lot of people are ready to show Dan Quinn out the door, which is all fine and well, especially with how the season ended for his defense. But that's been a great unit under Dan Quinn. Since the moment he walked through the door, he had transformed that team. The way that he transformed that team, pressure and turnovers, and they've generated a lot of both. If Dan Quinn leaves and gets a head coaching job at one of the two, in which he's already had 2 interviews with the Seattle, and he's going for his second interview tomorrow with the Washington Commanders, what would be next? Well, reports today came out and said that maybe the grass ain't always greener, as if Dan Quinn leaves, it looks like there may be an affinity for former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera, which we talked about symmetry earlier. You talk about symmetry. Dan Quinn goes to Washington. Ron Rivera comes from Washington to Dallas, and a flipping of roles of sense. That's crazy. But at the same time, while Dan Quinn's defenses have been good and proficient at causing turnovers, Ron Rivera's have not in Washington. Now, is that a product of him having more on his plate as being the head coach and not having enough input on the defensive side of the ball in Washington? Possibly. But would Cowboy fans feel like in a world where I gave you two options, and we'll go Matrix red pill, blue pill, are you taking the Dan Quinn blue pill or the Ron Rivera red pill? Which option do you want? Because I've stated, if Dan Quinn goes, you should go after Mike Vrabel. That should be the pill. But if it wasn't an option, Vera does have a similar skill set in terms of a former head coach who can tend to that side of the ball and let McCarthy continue to be basically offensive coordinator / head coach of the offense and allowing the defense to do their thing because they have a former head coach in charge of it. Now that I've scared everybody senseless that's a Cowboys fan, it may all be for naught because Adam Schefter today on the Pat McAfee show said, not so fast on the perception of where DQ's heading.
First and foremost, I'm not convinced yet that Ben Johnson's getting the Commander's job. I know people have said that he's the presumptive favorite, and he may get the job. Like he very well may. He's in contention. But that is not a slam dunk at all right now. And they are definitely looking at other people as well. And again, they may come back to Ben Johnson. But I think that they're pretty impressed with Mike McDonald and Aaron Glenn and Anthony Weaver as well. And I think those guys are going to have a legitimate chance to get that job. And then Ben Johnson's also in play in Seattle. So you have to see, okay, well, if he doesn't get Washington, is he then in Seattle? Or does Seattle pull an upset? Again, people have said here that they think Ben Johnson is going to Washington and Dan Quinn is going to Seattle.
Yes.
And I will bet you that at a minimum, one of those is not right. At a minimum.
Okay.
Maybe both.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh! So, maybe both. Maybe one. Maybe the one's Dan Quinn. Maybe the one's Ben Johnson. Maybe both. So if Dan Quinn does come back, do you think there will be more input to the resources by the Cowboys front office in terms of making sure that he doesn't have to play safeties at linebacker next season? Do you think there's, whether it's free agency or the draft, an importance put on having some players that can do things like Dre Greenlaw and Fred Wagner do? I'm looking at the YouTube live feed. Says, hello from Portland. What's up, Jason Garcia? How you doing, my man? Paul Cantu says they wish they could have Vrabel. Too bad he's too big of a persona. You know, Jerry couldn't have him stealing all his spotlight. You know, he's a big persona, but I don't think he's outside the realm of Jerry in terms of, look, if Vrabel came to Dallas, would essentially be the head coach of the defensive side of the ball. He would have all the control on that side of the football. And there's a good chance that he could also possibly, like Dan Quinn, become the head coach in waiting to just be elevated if something goes wrong with Mike McCarthy this year. But that's another story for much, much later time. We like to give Jerry a whole bunch of crap for being knee-jerk, impulsive, whatever it may be. And he has his faults and he has his flaws. But when it comes to Jerry's patience with coaches, it has been good. He has at least let the moment wash in before making too harsh of a decision. Because Mike McCarthy, for all his faults and follies this past year, Dak Prescott had the best season of his career. He was legitimately and is an MVP finalist for the first time in his career. Mike McCarthy was right wanting to move on from Kellen Moore. But Kellen Moore is back. Cowboy fans, are you worried? Are you scared? Should you be scared? Kellen Moore's accepted a job in the division with the hated Philadelphia Eagles. We'll discuss next and get you ready for Spurs Wizards as they get set to try and get a 3-game win streak going, which would be a beautiful thing to be able to say tomorrow afternoon. We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown!
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast and be the she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Hey, what's up? I'm Elle Duncan, host of the Elle Duncan Show. If you're looking for a podcast that gives you a little bit about a lot and a lot about nothing, you've come to the right place. There's pop culture, there's sports, really anything that we find particularly interesting that you're talking about on social media. And oh yeah, I do it with this guy named Gary Streisky, who's a homie.
Hey, Elle, what's going on? Thanks for the mention. Can I get on the graphic now?
No. Follow and listen to the Elle Duncan Show wherever you get your podcasts.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
And looking the way they should against the bad teams, which always useful. But Kellen Moore's back in the division. No place on Harbaugh's staff, so they send him to Philadelphia. Fans, there's a common denominator. Dak Prescott was good. Kellen Moore was there. Dak Prescott was better without Kellen Moore there. He went to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert did not have a very good season. There's a common denominator there. He went to what is perceived to be a better quarterback and had a worse season. So, with that said, fans, Cowboy fans, don't freak out too much about the Kellen Moore to Philadelphia, because that feels a lot like a team trying to do whatever it can to save a head coach before having to wipe the slate clean again. I appreciate everybody for riding through tonight. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and sasportstar.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before